Welcome to MX5 Diary. I'm Steve and I'll be talking about the things you only really learn when you've owned the new MX5 for a while. Not the kind of stuff you're going to see on regular reviews or just by going on a test drive, but the things you only really learn when you've owned a car for a while. Now, in the last episode, I talked about keyless entry, the roof, fuel economy and some aspects of the interior. And you would have also seen me make a fool of myself when I claimed the car didn't always lock itself properly. And yet I couldn't actually make it go wrong. Well, I didn't give up. I've now found a way of making it go wrong every single time. This is a problem I really think Mazda needs to take a look at, and I'll be showing you how I do it later on in the video. But first, let's see this car in action. This is the latest incarnation of Mazda's iconic MX5. Not only the planet's best... Right, enough of that. Let's drive this thing. Car's not super quick, but it is so much fun. The gear changes are solid and precise. Around corners there's a bit of roll but not too much. The 50-50 weight distribution means it's lovely to handle. I was asked by a friend of mine how this compared to my old RX-8, and the best analogy I could come up with is the RX-8 at speed feels like you're downhill skiing. The MX-5 is so much more connected. It's like you're going down that same ski run but on a tea tray. It's just point, shoot and hang on. And it sounds great. There's a blue light here on the dash that tells me when the engine's too cold. Okay, that's good, but when the blue light goes out, does that mean the engine's warm enough? Because there's a temperature gauge here that gives me no indication as to what is the right temperature. All I want to know is when can I put my foot down? There's just these measurements in degrees. Can anyone tell me in degrees the right engine temperature? Anyone? Do you know what the right temperature for a car engine is? What's an engine? And the first few times I used the car, I just kept asking myself, is the engine warm enough yet? Is it warm enough yet? The temperature gauge was no help at all. And there's this gear shift indicator thing which tells you which gear you're in, which is kind of useful, particularly at speed with the roof down, because you can't always hear the engine. But it also tells you the most suitable gear you need to be in for optimum fuel economy. And you know what? It's kind of pointless because most of the time it's just wrong. I'm in third, I'm quite happy in third, I'm not going fourth. Fifth, I'm going uphill. How can it be fifth? It handles ever so well around the corners. The stability and traction control are a bit too sensitive for my liking, and I'll talk about that in a future video. But that said, I can throw this into any corner and it's pretty much happy. Although I find the indicators don't always reset when I come out of a corner. So if I go around this corner and straighten the wheel, look, the indicators are still going. And the problem is, with the roof down, I can't hear the indicators, so I end up looking like a right plank. When I first got this car, I found that after... Oh, I've left the indicators on. Plank. When I first got this car, I found after a few long journeys, I ended up with quite a sore right knee because I kept hitting it on this control panel here. That said, maybe I've just changed the way I sit, I don't know, but I no longer have that problem with my knees. That's not to say you won't. Ah, 2 beeps, that reminds me. I said at the start of the video that I've been able to reproduce the problem with my car not locking. So I've got my keys in my pocket, I walk away from the car, I hear 2 beeps, which means the car is locked. If I want to open the boot, some cars have a release inside the car. Mine is right on the right hand corner here, a button underneath. I press it, I can open the boot, get my stuff out, the car is still locked, everything is fine. Where does the problem start? Well, imagine I've just arrived at work, getting out of my car. Now what I found myself doing, only 1 beep. Instead of walking all the way round, because the button is just here, I lean over and press this button before the second beep happens. I get my bag out, close it, walk away, and there is no second beep. It appears that if you open the boot before the second beep, the car does not lock, which means I've gone away to work for the day, come back only to find that my car is completely unlocked. And this has happened more than once. It's very frustrating. Mazda need to fix it, because when you hear these beeps, there's not a right beep or a wrong beep. One beep becomes another beep, and it's very, very easy for this to happen. It's taken me a while to figure out why this happens. Now the car is locked. Anyway, I hope you learned something new. Thank you for the comments so far. I'm still new to this YouTube presenting things, so any feedback is greatly appreciated. And if there's anything in particular you want to see in a future episode, then please let me know. Thanks again.